all, and welcome to the Lunchtime Vlogs. It is already Thursday. I cannot believe how quick time is going. Well, I know time goes quick. Good example. I get home from work around 5:30, and it's now 7:30, and I got lost in TikTok. So today's topic is going to be how to actually know who to trust. Now, be it back in college, high school days, heck, even last weekend, we've all had a friend that asks, "Hey, you want to go out and have some beverages?" So you all agree to go out. He knocks back a few beers while you keep it maybe non alcoholic because you decide to be the designated driver, being the responsible driver. That's normally what I am. And as you get out of the bar, he asks if you could give him a ride home. Well, I mean, depending on how you agree to go out. I mean, if you're the designated driver, obviously you're the one who is driving home. Say you meet up somewhere and he's like, "Hey, can you give me a ride home?" You've got other commitments, so you say no. So he starts to pressure you, him, her, saying, "Hey, it's only a short drive. The beers had not affected him." And then he's like, "Hey, let me do it for I'd do it for you if you had a good." Well, that's stupid. It's a bad example to use. Sorry. So they pressure you and then they get mad at you. And you're like, "Look, I'm not going to give you my car. We've been out drinking. You've had too many few. Call a cab, call an Uber, do something, but I can't give you a ride home unless you're the designated driver. And please don't abandon your peoples or peeps if you're the designated driver for that night." So the common question, "Well, just give me a car, dude. Don't you trust me?" And they get upset with you. Henceforth, that starts, who can you trust? Who to trust? It's elementary, my dear Watson. While there isn't a single universal definition for trust, all of us know what it means in the essence. Will someone screw me over? In other words, how high of a level of confidence do you have in someone? All of us have at some point in time placed our trust in the completely wrong person. It's happened, we've all done it. And while we may think that there's no way we could have predicted that and then felt that level of betrayal, this is absolutely 100% wrong. People change, situations change, and after all, we're only human, and so are they. The biggest problem with trust comes from relying too much on what people say instead of what they do. I give an example. I'm a big person on to-do lists, things that I want to get done for the next day. Then you have the ones that talk a big game of what they're going to do, but end up being lazy instead. Hey, we've all had that. Does that mean you lied? No. But the fact remains that you said you were completely busy for a day and then you ended up doing nothing. So if you keep saying you're going to do something but never actually do it, why should people believe that you will actually go through with your plans? You keep proving them right. So coming from someone that, they promise they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And then, hey, let's make plans and get together. Then all of a sudden they don't follow through. Um, you know, when somebody cancels out on you more than once, do you still remain with the aspect, can you trust them? Sorry guys, my glasses are a little funky. Friday I get to go and have my eyes examined. Yay! Because I feel like you're seeing my glasses and they're tilted, but hey, no judgment. We all been there, done that. Okay, so back to the golden rule of thumb for trusting people is this. You judge someone based on what they do and not what they say. Actions are always going to speak louder than words. Trust me when I say that. The word trust. Trust me when I say that. And it goes a lot further than trust me. I won't let you down. Trust me. Actions always are going to speak louder than words. So, if you, it really falls to say what you mean what you say. If I'm going to give you a ride home, you can guarantee a ride home unless something catastrophe. You know what I mean. If something happens that I no longer have that vehicle at my disposal. So if I become the designated driver, everyone's getting home. I may charge y'all $5. And if y'all are too drunk, you're going to just pay me or Venmo me or whatever. But, have a little fun. So the golden rule of thumb for trusting, as I said, judge someone based on what they do and not what they say. Because a lot of people you'll find are all talk, no action. Actions speak louder than words. So when you wonder if you can trust somebody, take a look at what they've done. If they back what they say and do what they say, then I trust. If you fill with a lot of BS on me, I can be an acquaintance, but I definitely am not going to be able to trust. So the golden rule makes sense, right? Promises don't mean anything unless they're backed with actually following through with the promise. Just adopting this as your criteria for trusting someone, you will solve 90% of your trust issues immediately, just like magic. You're putting your trust in the right people. Now, let's examine the story from the beginning. People invite you out for drinks. You meet up at the bar. The friend you went out with has too many drinks, gets angry with you when it's time to leave. They're too far gone to drive home, but you can't drive them home and they get angry at you. So, friend A wants to drunk drive my car, wants to drive while drunk, which is dangerous, tries to guilt me and make me feel bad for saying, no, you're not going to take my car, and no, I'm not going to give you a ride home. Questions our friendship because I told him or her no. Becomes hostile and starts insulting you. So, based on those kinds of behavior, does that sound like someone you should trust? Or does it sound like somebody being a jackhole who thinks he's above everyone else and gets mad at you and says stupid ideas, stupid things? Now, when you take that all into consideration, he or she often acts like a jackhole. There's no way I should trust him. You know, I'm not going to give up a coffee, so to say, if I lose that friendship. So, in essence, if you take that scenario and iron it all out, it's time to permanently cut him or her out of your life. I mean, obviously, when you compare all your four things that we just mentioned, they come, when you say no, they become combative, they insult you, they That is not a friend, and it is definitely not someone you can trust. So now let's take a look at another comparison. Once again, let's examine a friendship based on information from the above story, but in a different angle. So, taking that scenario, and we'll just take out the jackhole part of it. They're a decent person. They never ask you for anything. He didn't pressure you into doing anything, he or she. He brought up valid concerns as to why he didn't want to do it. Say she recognizes they've had too much to drink. And then he was actually thinking logically and not emotionally. So, y'all met up. He had too much to drink. She had too much to drink. You can't give him a ride home. And obviously, you're not going to give him your car. But I'm more relatable to that person. I'm definitely going to find them a way home, or I will work to find a way for them to get home. So you have the type friend A, get rid of them. You have the type friend B, you trust them, they're rational, they're not acting stupid, they're not throwing, pressure at you, and he's not asking you to do something or she do something that you've already said you can't do. So in that instance, the friend that's calm, open, and when you tell him you can't drive him on your lap, obviously, and you can't be manipulated into thinking that, manipulation, the art of manipulation. There's another thing we'll have to cover down the road. But based on the two comparisons, he's shown, or she's shown, time and time again, that they'll come through when they promise to do something. So that shows you, trust versus distrust. Friend A that pressures and just insults and whatever, get rid of them. Simple. Just get rid of them. Friend B, if they've never let me down, they've always held up to their word in their actions, I'm going to go for friend B. And I trust them. And I'm going to follow the golden rule with that friend. So sometimes you begin to wonder why you do have trust issues. Before determining who you can and can't trust, you first need to understand what makes you trust someone in the first place. In order to determine whether there's something to an exception of a rule or anything in between, you need to understand the psychology of trust. If you placed your trust in the wrong person in the past, or someone very close to you betrayed your trust, you will have developed trust issues. It's like the comparison of the friendship that we said about the good friend or the bad friend. Friend A, friend B. The problem is with trust issues. Sorry, tongue tied again. The problem with trust issues is that while it's perfectly understandable, from placing blame on someone or something, you were led by a belief that someone else had betrayed your trust, which now you've developed a trust issue. But was it still worth the choice to trust that person? You can't make other people trustworthy. You can only focus on the things that you can control and who you're going to trust. So if you're worried that you might trust the wrong person, the solution isn't to be wary of everyone. It's to determine which warning signs you missed in the past and apply them to your future relationships. There are plenty of factors that influence how much you can trust someone. Some of these are developed instantly and others take time to learn. So keep things simple. And here are some things. Does the person seem generally happy? Who have you known longer? Well, are they physically attractive? I guess that would only apply if you're looking for a partner. If you're not, I guess I wouldn't really place my trust in somebody based on their looks. Do they match their behavior with their words? And do they display vulnerability? This is an even more powerful one when you combine in the counterparts of the other 4 factors. Psychiatrists may parade their clients in front of various diplomas and achievements, so to say, then purposely spill their coffee at the beginning of a session. And do the diplomas, show that they're good at their jobs, but are clumsy? Or are they egotistical and full of themselves? If you're seeing a therapist like that, they're not there to help you. They're going to do more harm than good. So the fact is that there are more guidelines and rules, but they're important. So taking the, showing vulnerability, matching their behavior to their words, the physically attractive, I don't think applies, but you be the judge of that. Have you known them that long? And do they seem genuinely happy? And it just means a natural smile a natural smile would use their entire face, including your eyes and your eyebrows, where people that are fake or creepy usually smile only with their mouths. So when somebody, say, if I'm generally happy to see you, I'm smiling, my eyes reflect it, my eyebrows, if you could see them, reflect that. Somebody that is just trustworthy, they'll smile. That's fake smile, by the way. So you kind of get the gist with that. Genuinely happy. You can tell when somebody literally is glad to see you versus definitely not. So the formulas for trusting somebody. And there's rarely a solution that fits. So instead, here's kind of I'll give you a little quick cheat sheet on it. And don't worry, the article that I'm referencing to tonight is available in the description down below. So if you want to peruse it, by all means. I find a lot of great self-help articles. And it looks like this is what the daily vlogs are turning into. Different topics of self-help. So number 1 rule is don't automatically trust everyone until they've had a chance to prove themselves. Do provide a chance for the people to prove themselves, and keep the factors of trust in your mind. If you see someone breaking a few of them, you may feel a little uneasy around them. You likely have a good reason. Be wary. Be aware of your own bias and trust issues, and know that there will be a great influence in when you're trying to decide if somebody's trustworthy or not. Don't always let your past perspective ruin your judgment and choices based off emotion. Judge people on their own merits, not on comparisons for somebody else. And number 5, and actually makes the most sense. Don't be dumb. It's okay to give somebody a second chance, but not 100th chance. So if you are trying to decide if somebody is trustworthy or not, if they've done the same thing 100 times and you've given them 100 chances, the likelihood of trusting that individual is really low. And again, we all should have our own boundaries and our own values. So you judge each person in each situation independently and put your trust in someone who not only seems trustworthy, action and reaction match, but are reliable, but actually act like it. And if somebody betrays your trust, stop and ask yourself, was it really their fault? So trusting, even if you have a hard time trusting people, if they've let you down in the past, not everyone is going to let you down, but keep in mind emotion, logic, and circumstance. In the 5 tips that I just shared with you. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is a little bit longer than I had planned on tonight, but I hope it helps, and I hope you are having a great Thursday, whether you're seeing this in the morning, afternoon, or evening. And just think, tomorrow's Friday. Have a great night, day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, and have a cup of coffee and chill.